This is Courage Barbell, and I'm your host, Chad Ikes. I just finished up a short deload session because I have the whole crew deloading this week. And I thought I would do a little video on the deload, the unload, the upload, the download, the side load, and any other kind of load I can think of. No, seriously, I wanted to talk about the deload and the unload. Because it's funny to me how words get tossed around and they kind of lose their meaning over time. And people talk about them and they don't really have any concept of what they actually mean anymore. So you basically have a deload. A deload is just that. It's deloading what your normal load is. So you're backing off of what your normal load is. An unload is taking all the load away. So that's basically not training for a period of time. I'm not a huge fan of the unload, but in certain instances, that might be your best bet. The deload I use often because I think if you catch yourself soon, if you're getting into overtraining, if your body is not keeping up with the training that you're asking it to do, an unload isn't really the answer. Taking time completely off may end up making you even more sore and actually slow your recovery. Or a deload can decrease that load on your central nervous system, decrease the load on your muscles, tendons, ligaments, but at the same time, you're still moving your body, you're still pumping blood, you're still putting a little bit of stress on those tendons and those ligaments. And it's similar to recovery sessions that actually make you recover faster. So when we're talking the deload and the unload, well, the unload is pretty simple. You unload, you're just not going to train. The deload varies. Like, how much do you need to deload? I see a lot of people go, I'm deloading this week. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're still using like 75% or more of your max. It's not really that much of a deload. And even with an unload, just because you're unloading the load doesn't mean that you shouldn't be out riding your bike or going for walks or going and playing catch or maybe doing some medicine ball work or going out and like playing ball with your kids or something. It doesn't mean go sit on your butt. It means just don't have a load on your back, in your hands, or whatever like that. So the question is, how do you really know? Like, unload is such a wide array of intensities and exercises and training. Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to learn your body, which is one thing. As soon as you start lifting, one of the things you should be paying attention to, and you should be reading on all the knowledgeable guys that are out there that have been doing this for years and years and years, who are going to tell you, listen, you need to start learning how your body works. You need to start learning how to read your body because everybody's going to be a little different. So what we're doing when we're trying to decide if we need a deload or not is basically we're looking at, are we overtraining? And by overtraining, we're talking about your body is not recovering at the rate that you're taxing it. So say each week you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in a hole, and you're getting further and further and further and further away from actually being recovered. What happens is if you keep playing in this area, you're eventually going to start losing gains. You're eventually going to start having injuries, and a lot of bad stuff will happen. We do need to go into overtraining at some point to get used to heavier weights, to strengthen our central nervous system, to put that extra stress on our tendons and ligaments and make them stronger, but we don't want to stay there for a long period of time. So some of the signs of overtraining are your appetite. When a lot of people overtrain, they'll start losing their appetite. And this will make it even harder to eat, which again is a compounding snowball effect because you need to keep eating to keep your body recovering. If you're already overtraining, you actually need to eat more, but you're losing your appetite. So you have to force down more food, which gets harder and harder, and you end up eating less, so on and so forth. Another big sign of overtraining is your sleep. How are you sleeping? What's the quality of your sleep? I was fortunate in a way to have horrible sleep issues. So for me, I experienced all this through my life, and I knew I was looking at it my whole life, trying to keep it the best I could. Well, with my team, I knew that these guys all slept normal, and I could see and read in them when their sleep started going off. And what would happen is a guy who goes to sleep fairly quickly and wakes up either not at all or one or two times during the night, all of a sudden starts waking up multiple times throughout the night. Like he's up every half hour, every hour, and he can't stay asleep. And then he'll have more trouble getting to sleep. And then he'll start feeling worse in the morning. Like when normally he gets up and feels rested, he gets up and feels sick or beat to hell. That's when your sleep's going bad, and that is all due to central nervous system overtraining. And you need to back that off and get your sleep back on track right away. If you're a person that stretches often, which I recommend, if you're overtraining, what will happen is you'll start losing flexibility. Like you'll come in and go, man, I can't even stretch to where I was stretching before. So, and that again goes with the tendons and the ligaments and the muscles. They're not recovering. They're just getting more and more beat up. So you're getting less and less flexible. Then we can move on to joint pain, tendon pain, ligament pain. Like if your joints and stuff are starting to hurt all the time, something is going on. Your body is most likely not recovering. You're probably in overtraining, and you need to look at that. Another aspect of overtraining is your mental status. People tend to not look at this, but it's very important, and especially if you're already susceptible to depression and those type of things, this is something you really want to pay attention to because you will start feeling more depressed. You'll feel less happy. You'll start leaning more towards negative thoughts instead of positive thoughts. Your attitude will get very negative in general. You'll notice people will be like, why are you so crabby, man? And stuff like that. Your temper. A lot of guys, when they really get into overtraining, their tempers start flaring huge. And where normally they might not get pissed if somebody cuts them off, now they're in full-on road rage. That's all part of overtraining. You can judge your overtraining based on your grip. If you're starting to have trouble holding on to weights that you normally held on to, you might want to start looking, am I overtraining? I'm big on dynamic and speed work. If you find your speed is dropping off at a pretty good rate, each session you're probably starting to push into overtraining. Looking at your strength in general, if your lifts aren't progressively going up and they're actually going down, you're probably looking at overtraining. Throughout my whole career, one of the things I used to do was three training sessions. If I ever had 3 bad training sessions in a row, that's it. Back off, deload. Like I'm not keeping up with the demand on my body. So these are the times that you want to go, okay, listen, now I know something's going on. I need to just deload. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hate deloading. I hate it. I always have. But it's going to be the fastest way to get back on track to making gains. If you think you can power through, tough through it, be mentally stronger, no, there's shit going on in your body that your brain is not going to overcome. It may overcome it for a few sessions, but it's going to catch up with you. So just pay attention to it. Take the deload. I actually now lean on the more conservative side. Hey, something's going on. We don't know what it is. If there's any question to deload or not deload. Like just do it. Just take a week, deload, and you're going to come back way stronger and way better. So you have to look at all these different things I talked about and go, do I have two of these symptoms? Do I have 3 of these symptoms? Do I have all of these symptoms? And over time, if you especially if you take good notes, you can keep track of what's going on And over time, hold on, folks, I got a little low battery. Let me just click through that thing. Over time, you'll be able to learn to read your body better and better and better. And you'll know, hey, we just need to back stuff off to say maybe 50% for a week, do some higher reps, lower weight, and then see how it goes. And then over time, you're gonna compile what you did as to what the symptoms were, and you're gonna get yourself a good plan for every time you start overtraining and where you catch yourself. Ideally, you get to where you go, man, I got 3 things right now. Let's just deload right now. Because if you catch it soon enough, 1 week, maybe even a half week might do it for you. If you sink yourself way into overtraining, you might have to deload for 2 weeks. You might have to unload for a week and then do a deload and then come back. And so the longer we push ourselves into overtraining and the longer we're there, the longer the deload's going to be before we can come back. So in the long run, just taking the deload, sucking it up, dealing with the mental frustration and sucking it up is the best way in the long run. Plus, the longer we stay into overtraining, the worse, or the better the chances of injuries become. Now, let me talk about something else. A lot of people just go, oh, I need to deload. I'm going to deload. Well, maybe you don't really need a deload. Maybe you're not overtrained. Maybe you're under-recovered. You know, there is a complete other flip side to this. Wait a minute, why am I overtraining? Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you not getting enough nutrition? Are your training sessions too close together? Are your training sessions too intense? Are you working out for 4 hours a pop? Like, there's a lot of different factors to this, but one of the biggest factors, if you hate deloading and you don't want to deload very often, then you need to seriously be offensive when it comes to your recovery. You need to do everything you can do to make sure your body is recovering the absolute way possible. This might mean supplementation. This means getting 9 or 10 hours of quality sleep. This means getting the right amount of protein, the right amount of nutrition and macros. This means planning your sessions the best you can. This means doing recovery sessions. It means putting everything together and actually looking at your whole training program, not just what's happening in the gym. So that's just a quick overview, something for you guys to start thinking about. Weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman, these are all long-term sports. You don't become one of the best lifters in a short period of time. It's 10, 15 years. But the smarter you go about your training, the more you read your body and pay attention to your body, the faster you can get there. The more you pay attention to your recovery and get your recovery squared away, the more hard training sessions you can get in, the faster you gain strength. It's not all just about the gym. In fact, in the gym is actually kind of less than half of everything else that you need to be doing. There's way more important stuff than what's in the gym. So that's really all I got to say about that for tonight. I'll try to do some more in-depth stuff in the future at some point on this. It's hard to give definite numbers for somebody like me because all the clients I have, they all deal with things a little differently. Their bodies are all a little different. So what I try to do is I try to come up with a program and train all my guys where I have a program that I can bend to all their needs. It's like a standard and then bend. And these are the things I look at. I'm always asking my guys, I watch them if I see them slowing down, if I see, hey, we've had a couple bad sessions in a row. How's your appetite? How are you sleeping? Hey, mentally, what's going on? How you feeling? Is there more stress in your life right now? And I'm always asking these questions, trying to see where they're at and catch them before they go into overtraining so I can back them down. I don't program my guys 12 weeks out. I don't know where they're going to be next week. But we have a plan, but my plan is very bendable, very flexible, to adaptable to the situations that we're having. Okay, guys, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little alert bell button. Please comment on this video, share this video. I know you guys all have friends that lift that need to hear this information. Shoot them a link over. All you got to do is hit share, copy link, bam, text it over to them. All right, guys, time for me to go eat. Time for you guys to start thinking about your recovery, and I will see you guys next time. Chad Ikes, Courage Barbell, Chad Ikes on Instagram, and I'm out of here.